The year is 2077. Welcome to Zenith, the gleaming capital of the Union, a city built on the principles of absolute control and unwavering obedience. Skyscrapers pierce the perpetually cloudless sky, their chrome surfaces reflecting a sterile, almost unsettling perfection. Beneath them, the streets hum with a silent efficiency of automated vehicles, carrying citizens whose faces are a mask of placid conformity. This is the city of compliance, a testament to the Union's absolute power. Every aspect of life here is meticulously orchestrated. From the genetically engineered food optimized for maximum efficiency to the meticulously planned schedules dictating every citizen's movement, freedom is a forgotten luxury. The omnipresent surveillance system, known only as the Eye, monitors every interaction, every whispered word, every fleeting expression. It's a network of cameras, sensors, and data processors so pervasive, so all-seeing, that even the smallest act of defiance feels impossible. Fear, a constant companion, permeates the very air. Fear of the dreaded compliance enforcers, whose presence is felt even when they are unseen. Fear of the unknown consequences of even the slightest deviation from the prescribed norms. Fear, carefully cultivated and nurtured by the Union, is the ultimate tool of control. Yet, beneath this veneer of perfect order, a silent rebellion is brewing. A rebellion fueled not by weapons or ideology, but by the very genetic code that the Union sought to control. This is the story of those who dared to defy the system, those who discovered that even in the city of compliance, the human spirit and the human genome could not be completely subdued. Their struggle, their defiance, would rewrite the very definition of resistance. Their story begins now, and it will change everything. The Union's absolute control isn't merely a matter of surveillance and fear. It's woven into the very fabric of its citizens' being. At birth, every child receives a genetic modification, the compliance gene. This isn't simply a matter of altering DNA, it's a sophisticated reprogramming of the human mind, a subtle manipulation of the very processes that shape our thoughts, our feelings, our actions. The compliance gene doesn't force obedience through brute force. It achieves it through a far more insidious method, the gentle suppression of dissent. It works by subtly influencing neurochemical pathways, creating a predisposition toward conformity. Independent thought, critical analysis, and the very capacity for rebellion are quietly muted, replaced by a pervasive sense of acceptance and unquestioning loyalty to the Union. Imagine a world where questioning authority feels unnatural, where the desire for change is replaced by a comfortable inertia. This is the reality created by the compliance gene. It's not a switch that can be turned on or off. It's a carefully calibrated system of influences, subtly shaping behavior from the cradle to the grave. The Union's grip on its citizens isn't maintained through fear alone, but through a deeply ingrained sense of belonging, a sense of purpose derived entirely from serving the system. The effect is a society where individuality is suppressed, and the collective good, as defined by the Union, becomes the overriding priority. Creativity is channeled into approved avenues, dissent is preemptively neutralized, and the very notion of rebellion becomes almost unthinkable. It's a masterpiece of genetic engineering, a testament to the Union's technological prowess, but also a chilling demonstration of the potential for manipulation on a societal scale. But even within this seemingly flawless system, cracks begin to appear. The human spirit, it seems, is a stubborn thing. And even a perfectly engineered gene cannot entirely extinguish the flame of resistance. Among the seemingly homogeneous population of Zenith, a subtle anomaly began to emerge. Batch 27, a cohort of teenagers born within a specific time frame, displayed deviations from the expected norm. These weren't blatant acts of rebellion, but almost imperceptible flickers of individuality, subtle cracks in the meticulously crafted facade of compliance. At first, the differences were barely noticeable. A slightly sharper question during a mandatory civic lesson, a hesitant pause before reciting the Union's daily mantras, a fleeting expression of skepticism during a televised address by the supreme leader. These were minor inconsistencies, easily dismissed as individual quirks, statistical anomalies within a vast and controlled population. However, as these teenagers matured, the deviations became increasingly pronounced. Some displayed an unusual curiosity about the world outside the approved curriculum, a thirst for knowledge that extended beyond the carefully curated information streams provided by the Union. Others exhibited unexpected bursts of creativity, expressing themselves through unconventional art forms, music, and even coded messages hidden within seemingly innocuous digital communications. These weren't acts of conscious rebellion, not yet at least. They were simply different. Their minds, though still shaped by the compliance gene, seemed to possess a subtle resistance, a capacity for independent thought that hadn't been entirely suppressed. It was as if a glitch, a tiny imperfection, had crept into the Union's flawless genetic engineering, a tiny imperfection that would have unforeseen and far-reaching consequences. This subtle deviation, this almost imperceptible crack in the system, would ultimately become the seed of a powerful rebellion. The whispers of dissent, once barely audible, would soon become a roar. The future of Zenith, it seemed, hung precariously in the balance. The initial acts of defiance were small, almost imperceptible. A shared glance across a crowded classroom during a particularly tedious lecture on Union ideology. A whispered exchange of unconventional ideas during a mandated recreational period. A seemingly accidental alteration of a digitally displayed propaganda poster, subtly changing a phrase of unwavering loyalty to a question mark. These seemingly insignificant acts, however, were significant. They were the first tentative steps toward open rebellion, a shared acknowledgement among Batch 27 that they weren't alone in their experience. Their shared anomaly, the subtle glitch in their compliance gene, fostered a sense of connection, a shared understanding that transcended the pervasive surveillance and the ever-present fear. For the first time, these teenagers found solace in their differences, recognizing that their seemingly unusual thoughts and behaviors weren't defects, but rather signs of a nascent resistance. They began to cautiously question the narratives presented to them, to seek out alternative sources of information, to delve into the forbidden archives of the pre-Union era. The shared experience of questioning the established order created a powerful bond. They found strength in numbers, realizing that their collective defiance could potentially outweigh the individual risk. Their clandestine meetings, held in the shadows of the city, became their sanctuary, a space where they could explore their doubts, share their discoveries, and strategize their next steps. The seeds of rebellion, once barely visible, were now taking root, growing stronger with each shared secret, each whispered question, each act of subtle defiance. The silent rebellion was beginning to find its voice. The teenagers of Batch 27 understood the immense risk they were taking. The Union surveillance was omnipresent, its reach seemingly limitless. A single misstep, a single misplaced word could mean imprisonment or worse. Therefore, their communication network had to be clandestine, their methods subtle, their secrecy absolute. They developed a complex system of coded messages, using seemingly innocuous phrases and symbols to convey critical information. Hidden within seemingly ordinary digital communications, encrypted within seemingly random strings of data, their messages passed undetected beneath the watchful gaze of the eye. Their meeting places were chosen with meticulous care, abandoned construction sites, forgotten subway tunnels, the shadowed corners of virtual reality spaces. Maintaining secrecy was a constant challenge. The ever-present fear was a tangible entity, a silent companion that lurked in every shadowed alley, in every whispered conversation, in every fleeting glance. Paranoia, a necessary evil, became their shield. They learned to trust implicitly only those within their small, tightly knit circle, constantly vigilant against infiltration and betrayal. Their clandestine network was fragile, vulnerable, yet remarkably resilient. Each successful exchange of information, each covert meeting strengthened their resolve, fueled their defiance. They were a small spark of rebellion against the overwhelming power of the Union, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of absolute control. The whispers of resistance, once barely audible, were growing louder, spreading like wildfire through the seemingly impenetrable walls of conformity. Their courage, their ingenuity, and their unwavering determination would ultimately determine the fate of Zenith and perhaps the world. To truly challenge the Union, the teenagers of Batch 27 needed to understand their enemy. This meant understanding the intricate mechanisms of control that held Zenith in its iron grip. They began by piecing together fragments of information gleaned from discarded data streams, intercepted communications, and whispered rumors. Slowly, a chilling picture began to emerge. They learned about the Eye, the omnipresent surveillance system that monitored every corner of Zenith, its countless cameras and sensors capturing every movement, every conversation. They discovered the vast data processing centers where the information collected by the eye was analyzed and interpreted, feeding the Union's algorithms that predicted and prevented dissent before it could even take root. And then there was the central control spire, the heart of the Union, a towering monolith that pierced the zenith skyline, its gleaming surface reflecting the city's controlled reality. It was the epicenter of power, the source of the Union's control, the culmination of their technological might. The spire held the key, they realized, to understanding not only the Union's control, but also the very nature of their genetic modification. The more they learned, the more daunting the task became. The Union's control was far more sophisticated, far more pervasive than they had initially imagined. Yet, this knowledge, however terrifying, also fueled their resolve. Understanding the mechanisms of control wasn't just about understanding the enemy. It was about identifying vulnerabilities, about finding weaknesses in the seemingly impenetrable system. It was the first step toward dismantling it. The stage was set. The rebellion was about to escalate. The pivotal moment arrived unexpectedly, a chilling revelation that solidified their commitment to rebellion. It began with the disappearance of Anya, one of their most trusted members, a brilliant coder who had been instrumental in developing their secure communication network. Anya's disappearance wasn't a quiet vanishing. It was a brutal, public demonstration of the Union's power, a stark reminder of the consequences of defiance. Anya's last message, intercepted and deciphered, spoke of a breakthrough. She had discovered a hidden flaw in the compliance gene, a vulnerability that could be exploited to disable the Eye, the Union's all-seeing surveillance network. But before she could share her findings, she was taken. Her fate remained unknown, a chilling testament to the Union's ruthlessness. Anya's sacrifice became a catalyst, a spark that ignited a fire of unwavering resolve. The fear of reprisal, once a constant companion, was replaced by a fierce determination. Her memory became a beacon, guiding them through the darkest hours, strengthening their resolve to complete her work. The knowledge of her brutal fate fueled their commitment to the rebellion. This wasn't just about personal survival anymore, it was about justice, about avenging Anya's memory, and about freeing Zenith from the iron grip of the Union. The risk had increased exponentially, but so had their courage. They had crossed the Rubicon. There was no turning back. The rebellion, once a quiet whisper, was about to become a thunderous roar. The training began in the shadows, in the forgotten corners of Zenith. It wasn't formal, structured training. It was a chaotic blend of necessity and ingenuity, fueled by a desperate need to survive and a burning desire to fight back. Their classroom became the city itself's labyrinthine alleyways, its abandoned buildings, its sprawling network of underground tunnels. They honed their skills in hacking, learning to navigate the Union's digital defenses, to infiltrate their systems, to manipulate their data. They practiced parkour, transforming the urban landscape into a playground of agility and evasion, mastering the art of disappearing into the crowd, of moving unseen, unheard. They learned to fight, not with sophisticated weaponry, but with their wits and their bodies, using improvised weapons and unconventional tactics. Their resourcefulness was astounding. Discarded technology became tools, repurposed for their needs. Hidden caches of information, unearthed in the city's forgotten archives, became their textbooks. Their training was a testament to human adaptability, a demonstration of the indomitable spirit that refused to be broken. They weren't soldiers, they were rebels, resourceful and adaptable, learning to fight back against a system designed to control every aspect of their lives. They practiced until exhaustion, their bodies aching, their minds strained, yet their spirits unbroken. Each training session was a step closer to freedom, each successful maneuver a testament to their growing strength and their unwavering commitment to the cause. The city was their battlefield, and they were preparing for war. The central control spire dominated the zenith skyline, a colossal monument to the Union's power, a chilling symbol of their absolute control. Its architecture was both imposing and terrifying, a sleek, obsidian tower that seemed to pierce the very heavens, its surface shimmering with an unsettling, almost ethereal glow. It was a fortress, a citadel of technological supremacy, built to withstand any assault, both physical and digital. Layers upon layers of security surrounded the spire. Automated defense systems, advanced surveillance technology, and a legion of heavily armed guards ensured that no unauthorized person could ever breach its defenses. The spire was more than just a building. It was a fortress, an impenetrable bastion of control, a testament to the Union's unwavering grip on power. The spire's sheer size was intimidating, its imposing presence a constant reminder of the Union's omnipotence. It wasn't just a building, it was a symbol, a physical manifestation of the invisible chains that bound Zenith's citizens. Every window, every angle, every detail spoke of meticulous planning, of ruthless efficiency, of absolute unyielding control. To even contemplate attacking the spire was a daunting, almost unthinkable prospect. Yet, for the rebels of Batch 27, it represented not just a challenge, but a necessary objective, the ultimate symbol of their enemy and the key to their freedom. The spire stood as a final test of their courage, their ingenuity, and their unwavering resolve. Their rebellion would ultimately culminate in a confrontation at the spire's base. The planning was meticulous, a symphony of strategic thinking and precise execution. Weeks were spent poring over schematics, analyzing security protocols, and identifying potential weaknesses in the spire's defenses. Every detail was scrutinized, every contingency planned for. The mission was divided into phases, each with specific objectives and assigned personnel. Kai, the team's tech expert, was responsible for disabling the spire's external security systems, creating a window of opportunity for infiltration. Lena, a master of parkour, would lead the team through the treacherous urban landscape, navigating the city's intricate network of alleyways and rooftops to reach the spire undetected. Meanwhile, Marco, with his exceptional combat skills, would handle any unexpected encounters. Each member's unique skills were carefully considered, their strengths leveraged to maximize their chances of success. They held countless clandestine meetings, rehearsing their movements, simulating potential scenarios, and refining their strategy. They debated, they argued, they refined their plan until it was flawless, a masterpiece of calculated risk and precise execution. The weight of the mission rested heavily on their shoulders, the fate of Zenith hanging in the balance. Their success depended not only on skill and courage, but on flawless coordination and unwavering teamwork. The time for action was approaching. The infiltration was a harrowing journey into the heart of darkness. Lena's parkour skills were put to the ultimate test as she navigated the spire's outer defenses, a dizzying dance across rooftops and perilous ledges. Every shadow held a potential threat, every sound a potential alarm. They moved like phantoms, their movements fluid and precise, a testament to their rigorous training. Kai, meanwhile, battled the spire's impenetrable digital defenses, his fingers flying across the keyboard, his mind a whirlwind of code and countermeasures. He fought against overwhelming odds, his every action a gamble, his success hanging by a thread. The tension was palpable, each keystroke a heartbeat, each line of code a prayer. Marco's combat skills were tested when they encountered a patrol of Union guards. He moved with lethal efficiency, neutralizing the threat swiftly and silently, ensuring the mission's continued success. Their close calls were numerous, their escapes hair-raising, their determination unshakable. Sacrifices were made. One of their team, injured during a daring maneuver, was forced to create a diversion, allowing the others to press on. The mission's success came at a cost, highlighting the immense risks they had undertaken for the sake of freedom. Their courage and unwavering resolve pushed them forward, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The heart of darkness yielded slowly to their relentless advance. The spire's mainframe was a digital labyrinth, a complex network of interwoven systems and impenetrable firewalls. Kai, the team's digital warrior, found himself in a high-stakes battle against the Union's most sophisticated security systems. It wasn't just a hacking operation, it was a war fought in lines of code, a struggle against an army of algorithms and firewalls. He navigated through layers of encryption, dodged automated defense systems, and outmaneuvered sophisticated countermeasures. His fingers danced across the keyboard, a blur of motion, his mind a whirlwind of calculations and strategies. The stakes were impossibly high. Failure meant not only mission failure, but the potential for catastrophic consequences for the entire rebellion. The digital battlefield was relentless, unforgiving. Each line of code he wrote was a calculated risk, each command a gamble. He was constantly on the verge of discovery, constantly fighting to stay one step ahead of the system's relentless counterattacks. The pressure was immense, the tension unbearable, yet Kai persevered, driven by a fierce determination, and an unwavering belief in the cause. His battle was a testament to human ingenuity, a battle fought not with weapons, but with intellect and sheer willpower. The fate of Zenith hung in the balance as his fingers continued to fly across the keyboard. He was fighting for more than just a mission, he was fighting for their future. The moment arrived. With a final, decisive keystroke, Kai sent the signal. A surge of energy pulsed through the Spire's mainframe, a digital wave washing over the city's control systems. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph, a culmination of weeks of planning, of countless hours of training, of unimaginable risks taken. The signal, a carefully crafted sequence of code, was designed to disable the compliance gene protocols, effectively severing the Union's control over the city's population. Silence hung in the air, broken only by the rhythmic hum of the mainframe. Then, a wave of relief washed over the team as confirmation signals flooded their screens. The signal had been received, processed, and acted upon. Across Zenith, the insidious influence of the compliance gene began to weaken, its grip loosening. The city's citizens, for so long subdued and compliant, began to stir. A collective sigh of liberation seemed to sweep through the city as the effects of the compliance gene began to fade. The weight of their success settled upon the teenagers. They had done it. They had defied the seemingly insurmountable. They had overcome the seemingly impossible. Their victory was not just a military triumph. It was a testament to the power of human resilience, the enduring strength of the human spirit, and the undeniable power of rebellion against oppression. The final signal was not just a signal, it was a beacon of hope, illuminating the path towards a future free from the shackles of genetic control. The fight was far from over, but this victory was a decisive step towards a brighter future. The city awakened with a collective gasp. The subtle, insidious control that had held Zenith in its grip for so long began to dissipate. Citizens, once docile and compliant, found themselves experiencing a surge of emotions, confusion, uncertainty, and a dawning sense of liberation. The chilling, ever-present conformity that had defined their lives began to crack, revealing the vibrant tapestry of individuality beneath. Conversations, once whispered and cautious, now grew bolder, their tones infused with a newfound sense of freedom. Faces, once blank and expressionless, now displayed a spectrum of emotions, surprise, disbelief, and an almost hesitant joy. The Union's absolute control, once unshakable, was visibly crumbling. The meticulously crafted order, the seamless obedience, fractured into a chaotic yet exhilarating display of individuality. People began to question, to challenge, to express themselves without fear. The city's atmosphere, once sterile and predictable, was now filled with a vibrant energy, a palpable sense of hope. The silence that had suffocated Zenith for so long was replaced by a cacophony of voices, a chorus of liberated expressions. The Union's reign of terror was finally over, replaced by a tentative but powerful wave of self-expression and freedom. The city was awakening, shedding its artificial skin of conformity to reveal the resilient spirit of its people. The future remained uncertain, yet a profound sense of hope filled the air. A new dawn broke over Zenith, but it wasn't a dawn of immediate clarity. The city, freed from the Union's iron grip, was still reeling from the sudden shift. The transition from absolute control to tentative freedom was a complex and challenging process. The lingering effects of the compliance gene were subtle but pervasive, leaving behind a legacy of ingrained obedience and suppressed individuality. Rebuilding society was a monumental task, a slow and painstaking process of healing and reconciliation. The citizens, cautiously emerging from the shadows of fear, began to reclaim their lives, their voices, their identities. Trust, shattered by years of oppression, needed to be rebuilt brick by brick. The scars of the Union's reign remained, a stark reminder of the price of freedom. The initial euphoria of liberation gradually gave way to the harsh realities of rebuilding a fractured society. Discussions, debates, and disagreements arose as the citizens navigated the complex challenges of self-governance. The teenagers who had spearheaded the rebellion, once celebrated heroes, now faced the daunting responsibility of guiding their city towards a future free from oppression. Their journey was far from over. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with obstacles and challenges. But as the sun rose higher, casting its warm glow upon the awakened city, a sense of hope began to take root. The seeds of freedom had been sown, and in their fertile ground, a new society was slowly but surely taking shape. The dawn was breaking, and with it came the promise of a future yet to be written. The legacy of Batch 27's rebellion echoed through the generations of Zenith. Their audacious act of defiance became a cornerstone of the city's new identity, a testament to the power of youthful courage and unwavering resolve. Their story, passed down through countless retellings and commemorations, served as a constant reminder that even the most oppressive regimes are vulnerable to the indomitable human spirit. The lessons learned from their struggle, the importance of unity, the power of collective action, and the necessity of defending freedom became integral parts of Zenith's educational system. Future generations were taught not just the history of their liberation, but the strategies and principles that had made it possible. The rebellion became a symbol of hope, inspiring countless acts of defiance against injustice across the globe. The memory of Anya, the fallen hero whose sacrifice ignited the rebellion, became a powerful symbol of resistance. Her name became synonymous with courage, her legacy a beacon guiding future generations towards a more just and equitable world. The city's new constitution, a testament to the lessons learned, enshrined principles of individual liberty, freedom of expression, and democratic governance. Zenith's transformation was not immediate or seamless, but the seeds of freedom sown by Batch 27 had taken root, sprouting into a vibrant and resilient society. Their rebellion served as a potent reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, the human spirit, fueled by hope and determination, can triumph over oppression. The legacy of their rebellion would continue to inspire generations to come. The story of Batch 27 is more than just a tale of rebellion. It's a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Their unwavering belief in a better future, their resilience in the face of overwhelming odds, and their unwavering commitment to freedom serve as an inspiration to us all. They dared to dream of a world free from oppression, a world where individuality was celebrated, not suppressed. Their rebellion was not simply a reaction against a totalitarian regime. It was an affirmation of the inherent human need for self-determination, for freedom of thought and expression. They demonstrated that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, the human spirit can not only survive but thrive. Their courage in confronting the Union's oppressive power serves as a potent reminder that even the most meticulously constructed systems of control are vulnerable to the power of collective action and unwavering belief. The teenagers of Batch 27 were not merely rebels, they were revolutionaries. They challenged the very foundations of the Union's authority, exposing the fragility of a system built on fear and control. Their success was not just a victory for the people of Zenith, it was a triumph for humanity itself, a demonstration that the desire for freedom is an intrinsic part of the human condition. Their legacy serves as a beacon of hope, inspiring future generations to resist oppression and fight for a more just and equitable world. Their story is a powerful reminder that the power to shape our destiny resides within each of us. Picture this: a city bathed in the golden light of a new dawn. The air, once thick with the suffocating weight of oppression, now vibrates with the energy of newfound freedom. Faces, once masked by fear and conformity, now bear the radiant glow of self-expression. This is Zenith, a city reborn, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. A city where the echoes of a teenage rebellion still resonate, a powerful reminder that even the most formidable systems of control can be shattered by the unwavering belief in a better future. Remember Anya, Kai, and the countless others who risked everything for the chance to breathe freely, to think freely, to be freely. Their sacrifice, their courage, their unwavering determination paved the way for a generation to break free from the shackles of genetic manipulation and oppressive rule. Their actions transcended the confines of Zenith, becoming a beacon of hope for all those yearning for liberation from tyranny. The fight for freedom is an ongoing struggle, a constant vigilance against the forces that seek to suppress our inherent rights. But the story of Zenith, the story of Batch 27, serves as a potent reminder that the human spirit is far stronger, far more resilient than any engineered system of control. It is a story of defiance, of courage, of the unwavering belief in the power of unity. It is a story that echoes through time, inspiring future generations to rise up and fight for their freedom. We were never meant to comply.